All right, here we are. We've just gone live at the Designer Show. Thanks, you guys, for being here. I'm Dan Baumann, one of the hosts today, and I see Kevin just joined us. Hey, Kevin.
Hi, guys.
We got John from Imagine Drafting, Renee Rabbit with rabbitdesign.net, Robin Fisher, Robin Rigby Fisher Design, and Kevin Tranzo, Design Build Experts, Mr. Expert himself. Welcome, you guys. How you doing today?
Great. Good.
I'm doing good.
Doing well.
Robin has got a little bigger smile today because she's in Hawaii right now. Stinker. She took a little me time and she's off on the Big Island, right? Is that the island you're on?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
And I hear the weather's kind of like okay.
Yeah, it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
There's some clouds. It's pretty beautiful.
Oh, you poor thing.
I'm kind of giddy. I've never been here before, so I'm really giddy.
It is beautiful. I love Hawaii. Been there half dozen times. And I see Jeff Rexford's on. Jeffrey, hi. Make sure you take Robin around and give her show her the
Jeffrey,
sights.
remember we need to connect.
Yes.
You're going to be here on the 10th.
So anyway, cool. Well, you guys, welcome. Thanks for being here. We've got a show today. Going to talk a little bit more about layout pages because, like we tend to do, that hour goes too fast and we don't get everything covered, and we'll never get everything covered. So that's kind of the lay of the land here for what we do. That's what makes it so fun with program, the Chief Architect growing the way it's growing, and the things, the possibilities that we have. It's never ending. As we found as we were in Coeur d'Alene this last week, it was great to hang out with you guys. It was a fun time with the Chief Architect people at their annual event. And what can we say?
Mike wanted to hear some highlights.
The weather was nice.
Learned a lot.
Not sure that's what he meant, but
oh man, we didn't come prepared today to do that. I will say that I love going there. I love the people. I love everything they do. But this year I didn't get much out of it as far as highlights. So
every now and then I look back and there you were sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping. Come on. Just relaxing my eyelids.
You look like you wanted to be sleeping.
No, it was interesting. The way they presented this year was I don't know, it's just something different, or maybe it was just me. I don't know. Anyway, it was still great to be there. I did learn a bunch of stuff, so it was really fun.
Yeah.
And
Renee and John and I rode the Hiawatha Trail bike ride. That was
right.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I got so much muck on me, it was finding places on my body I didn't know weren't covered.
It was carnage. Both of you guys crashed.
Yeah, that's right.
I hit my head so hard. I've never hit my head that hard.
Thank God you had a helmet on. That's all.
Big lesson about wearing helmets.
I feel like I should have crashed on purpose just to join.
If any of us should have crashed the way you were riding the bike, Renee, you should have been the one to crash.
Yeah, the one that doesn't ride bikes at all.
It's interesting, Mike, you say Zen Master level. I just think my head just wasn't into it this year. I don't know if it's a Zen Master thing or not, but the things they were covering, I really didn't have a ton of interest in. I know, Renee, you were more interested in what they were talking about than I was, so it was good that you were there paying attention.
Yeah. We did it. We did have a great opportunity. Each of us really did to help people there. I had some great experiences helping people out with their challenges. So that's always a great time, no matter what.
Yep. And as usual, you learn more by teaching. So
yeah,
which is what I put on my survey to Chief. I said, let me teach the class next year.
That's going to go over well.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, I can't wait for their call. Anyway,
I got to learn a lot. Sorry, I got to learn a lot about just how the program works behind what we see. So that was interesting.
Yeah,
right.
It's really good.
Exactly.
I learned a ton. I was so pleased with what I learned. I was really happy.
Anyway, on a different note, guys, why did the general contractor stop making his own sandwiches?
His own sandwiches?
Yeah.
I have no idea. Why did the general contractor stop making his own
because
sandwiches?
He liked working with his subcontractors.
Uh,
All right, there's our bad joke for the day.
All right. That one qualifies.
Let's move on here. People are here to learn about layout pages. We'll come back here in a little bit. We'll talk about the summit coming up and the classes we've got coming up. And Renee, Robin, you got some things we're gonna get to, but we'll never cover everything. We never do. But let's talk about layout pages. Last time we talked quite a bit about layout pages, and if you haven't seen it, you can go to the blog and at chiefexpertsacademy.com and look at what we talked about last week. We haven't taken it down. We talked about it last time. We'll get there. We're just still trying to figure out what to do with the content that we cover here in these shows, because we want to cover more and better content. Questions, by all means, you guys post them about layout pages. We want to answer your questions, or anything about Chief Architect for that matter. Just go ahead and post it and we'll get to it. Kevin, I want you to talk. Did you get my note about the topic?
I did.
You got some info on that?
It's in my head.
Okay, good.
With some good prompting, I'll chat about it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I want you to come in 20 minutes and talk about that. So you take time, you take charge of the time. Layout pages. I want to talk about those for a little while here. Last week I kind of jumped into the middle. It seems kind of like the middle of what layout pages are. We didn't really cover the beginning, the basics of layout pages, and where you almost get started. We talked about what they are and how they work and all the things you can put on them. The different kinds of views you can put, the viewports, the way some of the macros work. I mean, we're kind of jumping all over the place, but let's just back up a little bit and go to the beginning. And how do you set up a layout page? How do you get one started? I mean, we have templates. Renee has some great templates that he offers. I have a template that I offer that works really well for plan-in layouts. But what's the basics of a layout? Again, I'll go back to this. The keys to creating a plan in Chief. All your plans are drawn full size. Everything you do is controlled by layers. Everything's drawn in one plan file, except with the exception of options or as-built versus new. Those you'll need separate files. What's added to the plans controlled by default sets, and the layers are controlled by plan views. So plan views are really the key to making these things work. We've all talked about plan views at different times and what they do and how they work. Basically, it's the way that you organize the different kind of views that you're going to print on the layout page. So I don't remember how far we got into plan views the last show, but I know we've talked about these things over time.
Like I would say that your number 4 is actually either default sets or save plan views.
You are correct. And as I was reading that, I was thinking that same thing. So you are absolutely correct. So thanks for bringing that up. So they kind of go hand in hand. Get your default sets, and then you get your plan views.
Or you could do both at the same time.
But true.
Yeah.
And you got your layers. So when we go to the project browser icon over here, so you should have that icon on your toolbar. And that opens up how you manage everything that's in your project. If you're not using the project browser, I want to strongly encourage it, because Chief is making this thing so amazingly incredible for managing everything that you do in your project. And as we did see, the one thing I did really like to see again is they're talking about the adding the cloud storage for plans and things like that in the next version, maybe. So we'll see what happens. And that's part.
They didn't ask us not to share this time.
They didn't, did they?
No.
So we can share. But we didn't really see anything new. I know they're just trying to refine it, and it's got to be quite a project that they're working on. I don't remember. Was that a different icon here, the project browser? Was that a 4th icon up here?
They added to it, I believe.
They added to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
They added to this, not a new icon. I couldn't remember what that was. So cloud storage for all your plans, libraries, symbols, textures. So when you we'll go to a different computer, you can open and everything will be there. So if you can share files with other people and everything will be there. No more error messages, things like that. So that's a big goal of what they're working on. So that was one tidbit that we can share it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll make it in here this time. They talked about adding it to 16, but it never, didn't make the cut. So anyway, project browser. So when you talk about layout pages, let's just talk about what happens. I think a lot of you on the call are, you probably got your own templates and things like that. But for some of you that are new to layouts, let's talk about that. So when you open a layout template that Chief Architect gives you, it's going to look a little bit like this. So when you go open a layout, Chief has, and you're going to go to your data file. You'll have your documents folder. You'll see your data folder, data files. Okay, so you'll see these. Here's the X16 data. This is where Chief stores a lot of things you use. What happened here? How come I don't have all my files in there?
Did you move them?
Oh, here it is. Oh, that was the viewer. You can still get the viewer from Chief Architect, by the way. So people can open your plans and look at them. So here we are. So we got our templates folder in here, and Chief gives you these real basic templates that you can work with for plans and layouts. And they are very generic, very, what's a good word to say? Very not well put together. How about that?
Entry level. Let's just call them entry level.
They're entry confusion. How about that? Entry level is fine. They work okay for getting started. And but let's take a look let's open up one of these. There's nothing special going on here. They've got some lines drawn on the page. They got some text lined up. They have, for some of these, they have added some of the pages for your, let me get to the right one here. I'm on Art D layout, architectural D layout. So I'm in my project browser. So I'm clicking my project browser icon, this icon right here. Okay. And that opens up this, and you'll see everything that's open as far as tabs will be listed here. And they have added some pages here. Okay. There's nothing on any of these pages, because when you look at these icons that you see here, so here's the layout pages that they've got listed. They put titles on some of them. And you'll see this page looks like a little blueprint. This page has a T on it. That stands for template. And this page, all the rest of them are blank. It means there's nothing on any of the pages that show blank. So pay attention to the icons. It matters what those icons look like. That's really important. So if we go to P1 where they've got something and we open that page, see how it says the word open in front of it? And you'll see, let me close this, and you'll see it says P1 down here. And then it's got a project overview title here. Okay. And that's it. There's nothing else on this page. They've added this schedule here. I don't know why my screen is so fuzzy. You guys. Someone just walked in the door. There's my dog bell. Is that fuzzy to you guys?
Well, it's very
I
small.
don't have my glasses on, so
That's just
everything's
me.
fuzzy.
Yeah. It's not coming in very clear when I zoom into it for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, Chief has added this schedule to the screen, and that schedule is created with this icon right here. Okay, so you can add a schedule, index to any page in your layout by clicking that and adding it here. Double clicking on it, you can adjust the way that looks by adding and removing column headings, and then you can click on the column headings and rename them. All right, and you can also have a main text style, which would be the heading of that index, and then you can have the main text style, title, and then header text style. So you've got 3 text styles that you can use to adjust the look of that index. Very handy. It works really well. Now, let me show you what happens. Okay, so again, I showed you before. There's nothing on any of these pages. So let me just go to the next page 4. It says plot plan. That doesn't mean you got to put plot plans here. That just means it's a pre-titled page. Nothing more, nothing less. So I could right click on this and go to edit page information. And I could change that to plot plan, whatever. All right. So we'll just type that in there and you'll see that. Now it adds it right here. And you'll also notice that it's going to put it right there because this is a macro that's used to read that information. And then it's going to also add it to my index as soon as I put something on this page. Now, right now, the page is still blank icon. So as soon as I draw a line on the page, okay, now when we look at the page, you'll see that it now looks like a little blueprint page because there's something on it. And now if I go to my schedule, back on the page previous, you'll see that it's listed here, plot plan, whatever. Okay. So it added that because there's something on that page now, and it added it to my page table. So that really works well. And you can keep track of your pages. Now, the cool thing about the way you manage the pages here under the project browser is that, you know, I decided I want to put this page ahead of that one. So I just grab it on the list here, and you can move these around all day long and put them wherever you want. And Chief, if you're using the macros for the page numbering, it will update the page numbering automatically. So if any of you are curious about the page numbering, how it works, just type it in here. And any other questions about the layouts too, just type them in, because I'm not going to have time to go into detail on all of these things. But you'll see how that works now. So now if I go back to the page that has the index on it, where I moved it to, because I was moving things around like crazy. Where'd it go? Let's go back to here and project overview. So there it is. So you'll see that when I change that around, it automatically readjusts this to the different page numbers. So pretty simple on how that works. Really a great way to keep track of everything that you're working on at any time. Let's talk about some of the basic things you can do. We talked about this the last show. The macros, I'll just review it real quick. So let's go to page 0, because that's where the master border is. And we got a little box down here that is blank. There's nothing in it. So what we can do is open the dialog for that, and you'll see that there's a thing called layout label listed there. All right, layout label. If you don't see it there, you can add layout label there. You're not going to add the page number. You don't go into the macros here. Here's how you add a macro to the page. You could go macro global. We could go layout info, and you could add the layout page number. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We want to add the layout page label. Okay, because we're going to use an automatic function for the page numbering. If we use layout page number, it just puts them in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't really adjust it at all. Let's go layout page label. Now we'll have that label here. No, I put the wrong thing in there, but that's what it should look like. Now, the way you adjust that is when we go to page 1, you'll notice that there's a P1 here. Okay, why is there a P in front of that 1 instead of just a 1? Well, let's go into the layout page specifications. We click this icon right here. Looks like a page with a pencil. Or we could go over here and we could click on the project browser, and we could right click on this and hit edit page info. Same thing. So whether you do it from here or from that little icon, same thing. All right, you see what it says right here under the layout page label. See the word label there? The macro is going to read whatever we put in this box right here. Okay, and you'll notice that there's a P-pound sign. All right, the pound sign is the page number. Chief automatically knows to put in a page number there in the order that you asked for. The P is what would P stand for? Plan. You know, you might have P, A for architectural, E for elevation. What are some of the other letters you use?
G for general.
G for general. So whatever you put in front of that. So the key is that you're going to put something in front of that pound sign. Now, if I go,
Dan,
yeah,
just a comment. If you have that P-pound sign and you think you're going to need more pages of that as a workflow thing, right click on that and duplicate that page. So then you don't have to put all that information in for each page.
exactly. So I'll do this a lot whenever I've got a page all set up. Maybe I got a page full of elevations. And you know what? I need another page of elevations. So I'm not going to go in here and say insert a page, because we could do that right here. We could go here and insert a page before and after. I actually never use that. It's always duplicate, because duplicate's going to have things already put in there. If you do it before and after, all of those boxes that are part of this will be blank. There will be nothing there. Okay, so we have to put those in. So I'm going to duplicate the page. See how P3 in here automatically, because it's got the pound sign in with the P in front of it. As soon as you put a new letter in front of the number or in front of the pound signs, the numbering starts over. See how the A's start over, the F's start over, the E's start over. Okay, MEPs start over. So that's how it works. It all starts over whenever you have something different in front of that pound sign. Now, if you're looking to do, A-1.1, A-1.2, A-1.3, can't do it. Can we?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
All right.
you just have to manually type that in.
You just
past
do the
pound sign.
A-1 point.
Okay, you guys talked over each other one at a time.
You do the A-1 point and then the pound sign.
But what if I want to go A-2.1, A-2?
Then you have to have an A-2 point pound sign.
So you have to manually put the 2 in. There'll be nothing that you lose the automatic function of the page number itself, right?
Yeah, like some municipalities like Texas, they have ordered numbering that you have to follow. So you could do A-10 pound sign and get your 101 through 109, and then have to switch to pound.
Right.
One.
But again, we do lose a certain level of automatic numbering.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's just something to be aware. And the other important thing about that pound sign, when we look at that pound, whatever's in this label box is read by callouts as well. When we go automatic callouts and we do the automatic page numbering, that will show up in those callouts. So if we're manually adjusting the page numbering, it'll still update the callouts fine, right? That's a question for you guys.
Wait, say that again.
Okay, so when we do a call out, all right, let me go to a layout where I have some call outs. All right, so on this particular layout, this is an actual project. This one I showed last time we did this. I'll have call outs like this. E1 on page 9. Okay, elevation 1 on page 9. So the page 9, this is the bottom here. That's automatic. So if I move this from page 9, if I move page 9 in my list to page 10, that number will update automatically.
Right.
So, but if I do, if I manually change it, to 1.9 or 9.8, 9.1 or whatever the number is, it'll still read that because I'm putting that number in. Let me go to that layout. Where is it here? No, I don't have that one open. Oh, I do have that one open. Here's the layout. Let me go open the plan. And here's that call out. So when I look at that call out under the page display, the text below line is left to set to automatic. So whatever is in that line, whatever's in that line on the layout page, I go back here to the layout and we go to this. So whatever's here will show up in that call out.
Yeah.
So if you have, E-1.1, E-1.2, it's just not automatically redoing the numbers up before the pound sign, but it will still show up in your call out just fine. Right? Yes.
Yes.
Do we if we rearrange our list here, then we've gone from a 1.1 to a 2.1, your 2s will be out of order. You don't have to manually change them. So just keep that in mind. I like keeping things pretty simple. So when I do my layouts, and many of my contractors like this too, but like you said, in Texas, they have rules about how you have to number your plans, and more municipalities have that. So when I do my my layout page right here, pages, I just use simple page numbers. I'm not using the E for elevations, A for architectural, that kind of thing. Because
Dan, about another 30 seconds.
Okay. Most of my plans are pretty simple. So if you guys have any comments on that, let us know. I don't know, John, Renee, Robin, what do you guys think of that? Kevin, what are your thoughts on that?
I think
Well,
you're a
Lisa.
genius.
I'll note a couple things here because we've got some comments.
Okay, real quick.
Can you show different templates in the same layout file? Yes, under the page information, you can check that any page is a template page and be able to use that.
So if I go to, I'll show this quick and then we're going to let Kevin take over for a minute. We're going to go to our page information where it says master border template. I could have no template and it would just be a blank page, or I could create another border, another template, and then check this in to say use it as a page template. Okay, so I could create a new page anywhere in my layout and just check that in, use that as a template, and then I could choose that from the list here. So I could have multiple backgrounds for different pages. In fact, sometimes, you know, I'm bringing in a PDF from the survey or an engineer or something, and I want to put that on a page and I don't want the borders that I have, I want their borders. I'll just do that, hit none or something like that. And see right here, now I have no border on this page, but I do on the next page. And again, I could go here and add things to this and rename this page as a template, check that box in, that becomes my new template. All right, we take a short break here because Kevin's got some thoughts to share with us. Let me just stop sharing my screen. Kevin, you can take over for a few minutes here and
Okay.
tell us what's on your mind.
Or what's on your mind. You prompted me to talk about something this morning that you and I have talked about over time as being near and dear to my heart, and that's the front end of the design process. The idea of inspiring your client to reach as far as they can or want to reach with their project efforts, and also the reality, helping them come to reality with it, and you yourself coming to reality with what might be either constraining it or might be possible. I just historically, I've done a lot of projects that are on the higher end of things, and sometimes clients can reach for those things. Sometimes they choose not to. The important thing is finding that balance. But one of the things that Dan asked me to talk about was when somebody comes in with an idea for something that is their dream, and you are met with it with the idea, with a little bit of skepticism that it's possible, then how do we handle it? What do we do about it? One of the things that I do, of course, like lots of you, is to pre-qualify anybody that I'm talking to on the phone before we ever meet up in person. And then I take it a little bit further, and I'm sure some of you do this as well, which is to establish a cost of me participating in any way. I know a lot of people, and I certainly did in the early days, would hear about a wonderful project, and I would go take a look, and I'd see whether it met my needs or wants, or whether I could help them, and I'd go from there. Those things sometimes work and sometimes not so much. I approached a home one time that had a dream of a complete kitchen remodel and all kinds of granite countertops, custom backsplash, new cabinets, new flooring, all the things that you want to hear in a kitchen remodel desire. So I headed out there to find it, and when I approached it, I drove through neighborhoods with big grandiose homes and things to find this address, and then I crossed the street, and on the other side of the street were very small homes, maybe 2 bedrooms, slab type homes, which can be extraordinarily charming in the right hands. But I held out my hope that maybe this was still going to be a positive trip. But when I actually saw the space, I realized that she had absolutely no idea what this was going to cost to do, and I had to spend an hour or so just helping her through it to let her come to her own understanding that this was not achievable. My feeling has always been everyone has the right to dream. We just dream at different levels. So I didn't want to push her away, feel like I had wasted my time, even though I had. Instead, I wanted to greet her with empathy and compassion and help her understand that what she was reaching for may not have been her budget may not be able to support it. She was wanting a complete kitchen remodel for under $10,000. So, I just helped her understand and went on my way. That's a long story. Sorry about that. The thing that I find most interesting is that if you can qualify people to know where you're going with your efforts and who you are and all of that, a lot of times you can not walk into those kinds of mistakes. So do that. No matter what level you're at, do that.
So
Also,
part of this is, part of what the topic is managing expectations.
Yes.
And a lot of people's expectations of what they want and what is real in the real world.
Yeah.
Far apart sometimes.
Right. You've got to understand their priorities. You've got to help them figure out what their priorities are sometimes, because a lot of times people just have the dream itself. They don't really know what they're trying to achieve. And you can do some of that just by talking through on the phone. Some good communication skills go a long ways.
Yeah.
Then you've got to talk about the B word. And when you start talking about budgets, everyone tends to be uncomfortable. The people on the receiving end, when you're talking about them, there are really easy ways to do this, you guys. And I've got classes about that. Certainly have taught those things at our summit, and would love to talk with you more about these. But there are ways of communicating budgets and arriving at a budget limit.
I thought we had come to a conclusion that it's not the B word, it's the I word.
The I word?
Your investment.
Your investment. Yeah, well, that's true. And I do use that word a lot. You're investing your hard-earned cash into this project. You want to make sure that you don't end that project with any regrets. So let's talk about what that might be. And we do that. And then, of course, you can talk about compromises and the kinds of things that they might need to achieve what they want to achieve. But by the end of that conversation, you should have a pretty good idea of whether they are wanting to move forward or run away. The thing that'll push them one direction or the other is when you tell them, would you like to talk more about this? And they say to you, yes, I would. And when can we get together? And you say, well, we can get together anytime, next week. I, like you, spend my time trying to stay busy. So next week is probably the earliest. And I charge $250 for my initial visit to come out and dream with you. At which time they will pause and ponder and sometimes say, thanks very much, bye. But what you have done in that is you've established that your time is valuable and you're worthy of it. And you let that roll off of your tongue like there is no hesitation. And the people on the other end say, well, if I want this guy's abilities and skills, it's going to cost me $250. Is that okay with you, dear? And there's a nod or a shake on the other end of the phone. And they're either going to tell you, thanks, we're going to make some other calls, or they're going to invite you out. If they invite you out, you just upped your chances from maybe 20% in terms of a sale potential to about 70%. They're willing to invest. And once they invest, you're going to establish confidence with them, and they're going to be happy that you brought them out. And you're going to give them some free ideas, but not very many. You're just going to give them a few ideas about what could be done so that you pique their interest, and they are more willing then to go on to the next step, which is to just simply offer without pressure that that we can talk about more about these things. at another time if you would like to move further into the design agreement. If we get along and we seem to, then we could do that, and I'll offer it at any point in time, but you can accept it whenever you feel comfortable with that. The thing about all of this is that's just the teaser. That's just to help you establish that the establishing the reality of what they're trying to do. You may know on the phone, or you may not. A lot of times when you get there, you're going to find out that what they imagined was realistic, not realistic, or you're going to see other potential. And I'm going to show one just because it's one of those that's kind of funny about how these things come to pass. So, Dan, I'm going to go over my time by a couple minutes.
All right. Make it snappy, dude. Come on.
I know. Okay, I need to
share screen.
Screen there.
There you go.
Okay, so this was a nice home in a nice neighborhood. The lot size is actually sort of accurate. It was a 3-acre lot, so there was a lot of space there in south of Kansas City, and there was some space to grow. When they brought me in, they had me come in to do a basement finish, and they said their budget was $75,000. Looking at the house, that's not totally unrealistic, or wasn't at the time, but I felt like this is probably going to be at least $125,000 to do what they wanted to do. And so I talked to them about that when I was on site. So I'm already pushing their budget beyond expectations. And some of you might have run screaming at 75, but I'll show you why I don't. If I feel like they're realistic and they're willing to spend that investment to begin with, then I want to walk through it with them on site and see what I see. So we did that. I talked to them about the potential for the project and where I thought it could go, and did they want to move on to the design agreement, and they chose to do that. So that was good. And then as we started the design process, I would offer them opportunities that were a little under their budget, a little over their budget, and on their budget. And I would let them tell me which way they wanted to go. And typically people are going to reach for the one that's over the budget. When we finished the project, they said, specifically, he stopped me in the driveway and he said, I just want to tell you that had you told me you were going to triple my budget when we started this project and I would still like you, I never would have believed you. But we did. So the $125,000 budget actually ended up $450,000. So when we finished that lower level at 450, then they called me back a couple of years later and said, we want to do an addition to the house and we want to create space. We now have 5 kids. Number 6 is on its way, and we want to increase the space in the house. Well, it's a big lot, but there are rules even in the unincorporated areas about what you can put on a lot and how big you can go and all of those kinds of things. So they wanted to put additional building space in, like a play area, a large play area for their growing family, an indoor play area. And when I say play area, I mean serious play. So when we checked with the county and found out that in order to do that, it had to be attached or else under 1,500 square feet. They wanted more than 1,500. They wanted 3 full-size batting cages indoors, which automatically put us to, what is that? That's 2040
Kevin,
times 100, 5,000 square feet. Yes, sir.
you're burning the clock up.
Sorry, Benny.
Come on, dude.
Anyway, so we increased the house. We really, really increased the house.
Oh
So
God.
the house is now this.
Oh my
Jeez.
God.
There's
So
the punchline.
what's that?
Wow.
There's the punchline.
There's the punchline.
All from a $75,000 basement remodel.
Yeah. So it started as a $75,000 offer. We're now at somewhere around $3 million. So
All right, Kevin, you
when-
got 60 seconds. What's the lesson here?
So the lesson here is don't underestimate, overestimate, or neglect. Take a look at things and see where they could take you and help them discover how to do it. And I'm here to help you discover how to tell people how to discover.
Nicely done.
There you go. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. I wanted to give Kevin a chance to share some of his wisdom. And by the way, Kevin, your website address again is
Designbuildexperts.com.
So check it out. Kevin and his wife, Judy, do business coaching. Kevin also does design. So check it out, and they'd be happy to help you. All right, back to our layout
That's
thing. Thanks, Kevin.
We got one question here.
Yeah.
If I asked you right up front what your hourly rate is to talk to me, how many of you would give me that number?
I would.
And just to clarify, do you mean us or do you mean your clients? If you asked your clients up front or et cetera, I'd just say, let's clarify.
Well, I don't think there's two different questions, Renee. If somebody asked me how much I charge to design, how much I charge to
I don't know if he's
do mentoring, it's the
I
same
don't know
part.
if I don't know if he's asking about us specifically or the general us, like if someone asks us. Oh,
well, if he's asking
you.
us,
There you
what's
go.
that?
Yes, you. Yeah, I'd give my rate, but I
would
typically
share my rate.
yeah, I give my rate.
Definitely, I do. I do in the first phone call.
It's not
I don't put it on the internet though, because
no.
Yeah.
No, there's no reason to put it on the internet. I would never do that. But if somebody calls me and asks me what I charge, I would tell them immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Murray says always.
Always.
Yeah, same with Jeff.
It can't be a secret. Yeah, it can't be a secret. You have to tell them, and you have to tell them
At some point, you're
going
to have to explain how it all works. So it's part of our job to educate the client on how the whole process works and how, just because you charge more than someone else or you charge less than someone else doesn't mean that you're bringing any more or less value to the process. The goal is to create a plan that works for the client, meets their budget, or in Kevin's case, always exceeds their budget, which they can afford it anyway. It can move forward. So Chief Experts on the homepage, chiefexperts.com, scroll down and there's a free handout you can get for how to make more money. Some of the reasons that go into your thought process of charging for design fees. So it's always been one of my goals to help contractors and designers make more money doing this, getting paid what they're really worth. Absolutely. Instead of giving away our stuff for free. All right, we need to keep moving here. John, you have some layouts you were showing me earlier. We're not getting into a ton of nitty gritty about layouts, but show some of your layouts and explain some of the things that you like to put on your layouts. And if you have anything in particular that you want to share about that. John is with image-drafting.com. He does plan work. So if you guys need help with plans, check John out too. So this is one of his projects that he did. Nice house.
Very nice.
So we like to tailor the layout to the client. So I probably have at least a half a dozen or more layout templates in my folders so that I can just do what the client wants done. So, I mean, this client here, for this client, this is actually black here, and his logo is over top of the black.
Okay.
Looks really cool. And this is just a curb appeal page, the very first page. Then we go into, this is our index. I forget how many pages he's got. Some of his
bunch
are 70 plus pages because he likes to have different things for different subs just on that page, just for them.
Okay. So you got a bunch.
So we have, this is just a reference page for what the lot is and everything that's going on. Here's our plot plan. Some elevations are next.
So you like to use the story poles?
Yep, story poles. We'll even go in on, I don't know if I can find a page here, but because his roofs are so like this, right?
Very intricate, yeah.
We will go in and give him a page that shows what the plate height is for each of those roofs.
Wow.
And what the ridge heights are and all that kind of stuff. Each separate ridge height would have a label on it to show how high it is. So some of the things, if I were doing this just myself, I'd probably combine some pages like the HVAC and the gas and the plumbing. I might put on all on one page, because in the area where I live, a lot of those are the same guy. So
I think that's really smart to divide the page up based on the trades. I think
yeah,
that's,
it depends on the situation. If it's a different trade for each one. But then at the same time, you should almost have another page that's got them all combined so that they can say, okay, I'm going to be competing with the plumber for this space if I'm an HVAC guy, and that kind of thing. Then he does a floor covering sheet.
wow.
Yeah, he likes his electrical stuff in blue. It's very doable. And then he's got some default things that his closets are always like this and that kind of thing. Got a lot of pages here where I actually didn't have them available for that because I copied this over and didn't bring all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that one. This is probably the most intense client we have as far as the detail that he needs and complexity of the structure. Let me pull up another one here.
How many of you do you show 3D on all your layouts, John, or all you guys? Do you show 3Ds?
I do. I make sure that I make sure that I am labeling them that they are for conceptual use only.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it sets expectations that can hold up in court.
How about you guys on the call? Do you guys put 3D on your plans or not? I'd be interested to know that.
I don't
You
know.
know, what I'd like,
Here's what Kevin was talking about. 3D stuff we put for conceptual purposes only.
Right.
And it's big and bold.
Yeah. It was an interesting one I got caught with about that. My engineer was a little irritated that I had put 3D on the plans that he had to stamp because he said that anything that is on the plan page that he has to stamp, he has to prove is viable. And so if you put a 3D drawing on there, he has to prove it. And it means a lot more hours for him to pick that apart. But all you have to do is label it. It's for conceptual purposes only, or it's a reference view, a reference drawing. And that relieves him of that requirement.
that's fine.
Okay. That's about all I got to share. You know, we like I said, we tailor our layouts to our clients. If you want help with getting your layout sheets set up so they're more automated and stuff like that, that's the kind of stuff we do. So
cool. Yeah, nice job. That's a nice set of
It's
plans.
really nice.
So not all your projects are that big, I assume.
No.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, I did a big one like that too. I had probably 90 pages. So there's a lot of stuff. But it was kind of a design as you go type of a project, so it was really a lot of fun. We just did the detail we needed. Nothing too outlandish. Renee, tell me what's the biggest piece of advice you give people about layout pages? Pop quiz question here.
Use macros.
Give a real life example that everybody can understand.
The reason I push macros specifically is it limits your liability, your potential liability from making errors in typing. I mean, that is it. You make an error in a type and suddenly you've got a lawsuit on your hands. So I like to use macros because you only have to type it once. You make sure you get it right that one time and then you use it everywhere. So that's something in layout. My other thing is I'm just a stickler for conformity across all pages. So my one wall elevation to the next on the same page, the floors line up, right? To the next page, the floors line up from the previous page.
Right.
Plan views, I'm always copy, paste, hold, and relink the plan view so that your plan view is the same exact XY coordinates on every page. My schedules are on the same spot on every page. If you're doing CAD details and you're throwing you should be throwing schedules in your CAD details. There's a lot of benefits. We can't even go over all the reasons why, but there's a lot of benefits, and there will be even more benefits once they introduce cloud.
Yeah.
So when I'm putting schedules in a CAD detail, they're in the same XY coordinates. All of my details, foundation details, framing details, etc., they're all drawn the same size and they're all in the same coordinates. That means when you can relink a view, you're just flip-flopping that view for another one, and they're all in the same location every time. So I really like to make sure I'm standardizing my font. So if you're driving some font from the layout side, you need to make sure that it scales the same way as the font from the plan side. I want all my font to be the same size across the whole thing.
Yeah.
The cleaner and tighter all of your graphics, your font, your annotations, everything, you'll get references. My local municipalities have actually referred me to people looking for a draftsperson or designer because of just my plan sets and how they look.
They're clean, they're organized.
Yeah. We
That's
covered
really nice.
we covered a lot of what Renee is talking about last time. So go look at the previous part 1 of the layout page thing. Mike had a question about how do you use the page reference or the plan reference setting. Here's a project I'm working on for a client. The house that you see inside the mirror, inside the glass house, is the existing house. And you can pretty easily see how we're going to build up over it and make a ton of changes. So the goal here.
I've got a question at this point. What's
just knock it down?
Well, they're living there. They just bought this place. They're living there. They want to stay living there while they do the work. So we're
okay. That's the first mistake.
We're going to tear. No, that's all right. This is a young couple. They're prepared.
Okay.
We're going to tear the garage off, and they're going to build this while they live in the existing house.
Oh.
Okay. So
you guys remember the movie Spaceballs? I think that was maybe one of the movies where there's a ship that just gobbles another ship.
Well, here you go. Kind of like that. So anyway, we've got it designed. So they're going to do that. And then they're going to build this addition while they live here. So that'll work out nicely. By the way, they bought this lot and it's on a lake in the Twin Cities. So they sold their lake home and they're putting all their money into this property. Now, a lot of reasons why this is a choice property and why they're going to do it in pieces. So once this is all done and they'll have bedroom up here and bedroom in the basement, then they'll tear most of this house down to the foundation and add the new part of this house.
Okay, it's sounding more reasonable now.
Yeah, so we've been very, very deliberate about how this was put together and what they want and what their needs are. It's really quite a challenge. It was a really fun challenge. But back to the question at hand, how do you do this and show this? At any time, you can show 2D or 3D in your plan as what's called a reference. So you click on the floor number here in a view that you want to do a reference on. Click on the floor number, and you're going to be presented with this menu, and you'll have a couple of things listed here. So what I did, here's the current plan. This is the house I'm actually working on. This is the as-built. Okay, so I went out and we measured the existing house. Now so that you could have your before and after. Again, you could do this on the floor plan, or you could do it in 3D. It doesn't matter. So what you do is you click the down arrow here, and you might have to, if the plan's not open, you'll have to click choose existing plan. Choose that plan. It'll be listed here. What do you want to show? What layer set do you want to show? What type of, if it's a 3D, what kind of a view do you want to show? So I could hit vector view here, and I could change the way it looks inside of here. So now it's a vector view. It doesn't look much different, but you can kind of see a little bit difference. So really a cool way to demonstrate to your client what the existing versus the new look like. And again, you could do the same thing on the floor plan.
I got one. Can I show mine too?
Yeah, go ahead.
So same concept, but this is actually a contained addition. All that's in this plan is just the addition.
This is Dan's house's dog house.
Yeah.
You'll live there while
you can do this where you don't even build the as-built into your proposed. It could just be a contained file, right? It can just be the addition only. And then you could always reference, because when we have a reference, we can actually snap to that reference.
Yeah.
So I could turn on.
We can rotate the referenced plan now, can't we?
Right. Yes, we can. So here would be the reference file, right? And I get to choose what layer set I'm using for it. So I could even choose my same working layer set if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it's just going to look like it's all one file now.
So a way to think about this is, so you're working on two files, but they look like one because you have the reference turned on. Another way to think about this, say you have 10 houses you want to show on a lot. Well, you're not going to draw 10 houses in one plan file. What you do is you draw the lot in one plan file, then you draw your other 10 houses, and then you can reference all of them into the lot that you're working on. Very powerful tool that they've got here.
There's another advantage to that one, and that's that if you're doing that, as Dan suggests, then and let's say that this land that you're putting them on is has hills and valleys, you can have the houses at the appropriate elevations and have them show up that way within.
You can raise them up and down. Absolutely, yes.
Can I show a couple little advanced things since we're closing out?
Oh God, it's scary.
Just a couple little advanced ones.
Save it for 1 second. Everybody, we'll be back to Renee in just a second to advance stuff. So get your thinking hat on. When you get a chance, go over to go to chiefexperts.com. Look up the thing on the top of the homepage. It is called the Chief Experts 2025 Summit on the Outer Banks in North Carolina. It's what do we got? 6 months left, something like that. Check it out. It is the event of the year. If you want to learn Chief Architect, you want to meet other good designers, you want to learn about your design business, you want to just kick some butt in what you're doing, check out our summit and
we'll
join
go
us.
Over whatever you want to go over.
It's a phenomenal event. It's a large commitment of time. It's a 9 to 10 day event, and it's a substantial commitment in investment in money. So check that out. But the ROI on this event is phenomenal. So you will come away, easily. And we've also got a course coming up in Minneapolis, Bloomington here, second week of October. John and I will be doing an intermediate advanced course here. 2 days of intermediate training, 2 days of advanced. So if you're looking for a live class and you want to be part of it, show up here. Let's see, am I sharing my screen?
I'm sharing.
Yes.
You're sharing.
So yeah, just come here on the homepage. It's the second thing down. You could come to the training. It's October 7th through the 10th. You take 2 days or all 4 days. You take 2 days intermediate or 2 days advanced or all 4 days if you want to. We share a ton of information. It's a great time, and we take good care of you. So it's usually a small class, 10 to 15-ish people, depends on who shows up. It's at a hotel. You can fly into the airport, quick shuttle over the hotel. You can stay there. The class is there. It's an affordable hotel, so we make it so it really works. And
Mall of America is close by. You can take a shuttle over there.
Yep. MOA, you bet. So check it out. And
if you've never been to the Mall of America, you got to go to Snoopy Land.
It's not Snoopy Land anymore. It's now.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's who's SpongeBob?
Oh, nice.
Whatever that one is. So yeah, Snoopy got kicked out.
That's sad.
That is sad.
It worked out well. It's a really amazing shopping center. It's really cool. So if you get to the Twin Cities, it's one of the largest attractions in the U.S. Believe it or not.
It's the first place I ever saw a love sack. The big bean bags.
Mm-hmm.
The Mall of America gets more visitors than Disney does.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy? I couldn't believe it, so I looked it up, and it's true. Robin and I, real quick, one more thing. Robin and I will be doing mostly Robin will be doing a kitchen design course starting at the end of October, I believe. That'll be an online course. So we'll let you guys know about that soon. I know Robin will be back from Hawaii by then. She'll be ready to go. So she'll be rested and ready to do some more kitchen learning. We've done some other kitchen classes together, and we had a ball. Robin's got a boatload of information to share. Oh, I can say that because you're in Hawaii in your boat. So
there you go.
She's got a lot of information to share. Robin, what are your qualifications for kitchen design?
I have been doing it for a long time. 38 years of experience. I'm a certified master of kitchen and bath design. I help write the new NKDA guidelines that are out now. And I'm a certified living in place specialist. And I've just been around for a long time. So I've been.
You helped write the National Kitchen and Bath Guidelines?
Yeah, that book. Yes.
I feel like that's
wrote
all you
that.
had to say.
I know. Right? That's
That worked.
2 years on that. 2 years of my life on that
Wow.
book. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I'm pretty proud of it. In fact, I just
I
wrote
bet
a
you
whole
are.
new lecture on that book. So
All right.
anyway, and that's what
Anyway,
we're going to be going over. It's really
Our
about details of
time is up, but
kitchen and bath
Renee is going to
design.
keep going for a little while, talking about a few advanced things. So
Couple. I'll just throw a
Mike
couple in
says,
there.
"Bring it."
All right. I'm going to give you guys all a cool little macro. I'm going to open up a layout box. Okay. I'm going to get into the label panel of that layout box. And I like to use call out. Now, the reason you don't see a call out on mine is because I have nothing input into the call out label, and I have no line style associated with it. I have a blank line style, I should say. So that's why you don't see it currently, but I can change that very easily. What I want to do here is I'm going to put a call out here that represents the first letters of my save plan view name. All right. And so this is a little macro you might have to write down. So it's going to be, I believe, automatic label is built into the software. So if we close this with percentage signs, you're going to see, look at that, floor plan just showed up to the left here. This is where my call out's going to be. Make this abundantly clear. Let's change my line style back to a solid line style on that label. Let's see that.
And there are two kinds of labels there to choose from, by the way. So you're choosing the call out label.
So we see I put automatic label that shows up as floor plan. Instead, I'm going to do a little bit extra with some Ruby here. I'm going to split this. What that does is it splits our label from the same plan view about any character spaces, okay, space characters. Then I'm going to map all the first letters. And this is a little bit of internal stuff here going on. It's colon and CHR for character. It's got to go in parentheses. There's no dot in between the map and that parentheses. And you're going to see that it's not quite doing anything yet, but this last part, and actually it should be, so I'm missing something here. Hold on one second. By the way, I do post this stuff in my personal Rabbit Design Feed Facebook group. So I'm going to start posting little tidbits like this.
You post that in your YouTube channel?
Not my, well, I should post it on my YouTube channel. There's the membership section. I could post it there.
Yeah, Renee has a members. You can subscribe.
Isn't this what you just posted the other day, Renee?
I did, but I didn't really explain what it was or tell anybody what it was doing. I just let them, try it out for themselves. But you can see here, it's dot split dot map parentheses and colon CHR. You can see what it's doing. It's indexing those first letters. And then our last bit is dot join. So you can take this and put that in any of your call outs, and it will automatically put together the first letters of your save plan view.
And that automatic label is pulling from the save plan view name, right?
From the save plan view name, exactly.
Okay.
So that's one. I'll just talk you through a bit of magic that's going on in my layout templates, which is that on my first page, I give you the option to say, do you have a walkout basement or not? I like to build my walkout basements on floor number 1. It gives us a lot more control on doing stem wall foundations, footings, etc. on floor number 0. It offers some other benefits as well. So I really like to have walkout basements on my floor 1. Well, in Chief, we have the ability to automatically put in what floor number a plan view is associated with. But if you don't want to call your basement level floor number 1, you want your main level to be floor number 1, what do? Well, all of my layout labels have a custom macro that will adjust up a floor. And I give you the option to call your main level whatever you want and designate your basement level as whatever you want so that all your labels adjust for you. So that's kind of the power of macros. You can do conditions that are unique to your particular build, so that you're automating process instead of needing to type things in, because typing is inherently, introducing a little bit of liability. So, yeah, I probably won't go any farther than that. We can get a lot more advanced, but that's for another time.
I love watching Renee do macros. It's just like, Chinese to me, but what the results that he gets from these things are phenomenal. So check out Renee's website, Rabbit Design.
I'll show this real quick. Just as an example, I asked you, what do you want your main floor level to be? And we'll just call it the Kevin Transu floor level, right? And then all my saved plan views that are associated with that level suddenly become the proposed Kevin Transu.
Oh, nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
Sweet.
Very cool.
That's cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Check out our websites. We got chiefexperts.com, Renee, rabbitdesign.net. John's got imagine-drafting.com, and Kevin is designbuildexperts.com. So, and Robin, what's yours again?
Oh,
you're not taking new clients anyway, so what do you care?
Not really, not much.
Just look up Robin Rigby Fisher. You'll find her.
She's just going to Hawaii.
Yeah, she'll be on a
I'm
beach.
just gonna, I'm on,
Yeah, when she's doing stuff, go sign up for it. That's all we're telling you.
That's
There you
right.
go.
That's
Just
right.
sign up for the class. You'll enjoy it. It's great.
All right. Thanks,
You'll learn a
everybody.
lot.
Everybody have a great rest of the week. And well, there's not much left of the week, but we'll see you in a couple of weeks. We're not sure what our
great day.
next topic will be, but we'll have some fun with it. So thanks, everybody. See you next
guys.
time.
Appreciate it.
Take
Bye,
care.
everybody.